Cat's still here after the clap. Hey, Cat! Right now, the least you could do is get on this stool. Come on, right here. All right. Hey, welcome to the new show. Whatever this show is. This is a new thing we're starting out. Just trying out. Not sure what we're gonna call it. We haven't really talked about a name or anything for this yet. It's really just a relocated Dan in the photo booth for the most part. It could turn into something else. I don't know. We'll see. But it was it came from me wanting to get away from just being hands in a booth. The whole time we've been shooting the show, I've been locked in a chair, and I want to be able to get up and move around. I want to be able to use my hands a little bit more, move a little back, move a little forward, left and right. I just wanted more space to work with. I wanted to be had to interact more with the camera, with everybody watching, and that's what this was really about. I've also been watching a lot of cooking shows, so I was like, hey, a lot of people are shooting in the kitchen, and they're getting a lot more views than we are, so what if we took this show into the kitchen? Maybe that's the X factor. Let's try a different angle with Dan in the photo booth, talking about, new stuff, recent acquisitions, flea market finds, all that kind of stuff, and of course PO Box pickups, which is what we're gonna do right now. I have this box. I didn't check to make sure there was no incriminating information on here. This box is from Chris. Chris has a FPO address, which I think means that he is military. And I believe this came from Japan. We'll find out here in a moment. There's a lot of stuff in this box. Obviously, it's a huge box. Right off the top, right in the beginning here, there's no note. There is a note somewhere. All right, it's not right at the top here. Well, that's running all the surprises. That bag is awesome. So it's really killing me because I know there's a note. Nope, here it is. I found it. So hopefully that part can get cut. All right, so here's the note. Dan, greetings from Okinawa. My name is Chris. I've been watching your channel on YouTube and follow on Facebook. Love your videos. Facebook. Whoever's following us on Facebook, sorry for that, because we don't even follow us on Facebook anymore. I run a toy booth at our local Comic-Con, OkiCon. You can check out some of the booth photos and some of the stuff I have for sale at Okinawa Toy Geek on Facebook. I usually update the page when I get new stuff in. I do a lot of toy hunting. So anyway, he explains that some of the stuff that's in here, blah, blah, blah. Hey, follow him on Facebook. All right, so in the box here, all that for that, right? In the box here, we've got the 2017 Tokyo Comic-Con bag. This is an awesome bag. It's oh shoot! Look at this. It's also a backpack. That's what they call them, right? That's what I'm going to call them. That's cool. That might actually end up going to shows with me because you can fit a lot of stuff in there, a lot more than my actual regular backpack that I take with me to shows. We got a Marvel Universe, Marvel's Wasp. The regular size and the smaller size. This has been tampered with. It's actually open a little bit here. This is is this the Elder Wand? I'm checking with my Harry Potter expert, Miss Toy Galaxy. This is the Elder Wand. It looked bigger on screen, I'll say that. But this is gonna make my cat disappear because he's pawing at the door over there. Also here we've got a Darth Vader, I don't know if this is a keychain Christmas ornament, but you can use it either way. Oh, it's unopened. All right, well, I'm not gonna open it, but it's just like a little laser cut, kind of rubber, I assume, Darth Vader thing. This is, manufacturer is called Happy KG. It's from Japan, I don't know. But it's a Boba Fett standing, just like a little statue thing. Definitely something I don't already have with all the Boba Fett figures that I do have in my collection. That is a new piece. We've got, I think these are bust-ups. I don't know for sure because I don't actually own any of them, I don't think. And these are actually these are almost like a hard resin. And I thought the bust-ups were more of like a plastic kind of material. But we've got Emperor Palpatine. We've got 4 LOM. Just, you know, waist up. This one actually has a gun. That's cool. There's more here. We got Bosk. Oh, do we have all the bounty hunters? We got 4 LOM. We got Bosk. We got, no, Walrus Man. This is, you know, I've had this figure before. Jin Roh, I think it's called. It's from. It's from a OVA that I have never seen, but I had this figure at one point, and I think this is Revoltech. I'm not 100% sure. It feels like Revoltech. It's got the right joints. It's got the sort of ratcheted kinds of joints, but I'm blanking on where it's actually from. I think it's Jin Roh, because I want to say I had that figure. I posted it on Instagram at one point and said, I can't remember what this is from, and somebody said Jin Roh, but I maybe misremembered that. I don't know. All right, we got Zuckuss. So Zuckuss, Bosk, 4 LOM. I think that's it for the bounty hunters. We've got a translucent Darth Vader. If I'm not mistaken, I think, you know, I'm not sure. I have a lot of translucent figures. I'm not 100% positive that I do or do not have this one in my collection already. We got 2 Spider-Man miniatures from Spider-Man 2. That's the original Spider-Man 2, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 2. 2 different poses. I don't really know what these are. I don't know if they're like, I don't know if these are like magnets or fridge magnets. Is there anything here that this will stick to? They are not magnets. We've got a little cardboard container here with a teeny tiny little translucent Boba Fett. These were those additional accessories that were packed in with some of the early 2000s Star Wars figures. I want to say I already have this one in red, so nice to have that one in a different color as well. We've got a couple of Star Wars figures in here, a bunch of loose accessories, battle droids. This guy. This was from the early era of Clone Wars, which I wasn't really paying attention to. Not because it's bad, I just wasn't watching at the time. Can't remember this dude's name, Scourge, something like that. And then there's a battle droid in there as well. Got a 6-inch Black Series Obi-Wan. This one is due for a remake. This is the terrible episode 3 with the awful face. It was so early in the line. They've got this one has to be on the list to get a redo. Then we got a couple of Rebels figures. Rebels is absolutely, you know, short of the original trilogy, my favorite Star Wars era right now. It's either Rebels or Mandalorian. I just finished a full rewatch of this entire series and just loved it all over again. Looking forward to see if any of those characters pop up in The Mandalorian Season 2. We've got Zeb and we've got Chopper. This is the version of Luke Skywalker based on the Ralph McQuarrie paintings where he's got like the scuba mask for being out in space. That's cool because I absolutely have the Ralph McQuarrie Darth Vader and Stormtrooper. I don't think I had the Luke, so that's a pretty cool addition. We've got a Playmobil Knight. It's got like armor on. Got Snaggletooth, another one of those bust-up type figures. Oh, nice. We got a GoBot or Machine Robo. I'm going to call it Machine Robo since it probably came right from Japan. Front wheels are busted off, but the ladder's intact. It's the fire truck. We've got, this is Star Wars helmets. This is unopened or resealed. All right, well, this particular batch is Biker Scout, Bausch, Boba Fett, Lando Skiff, Imperial Gunner, or AT-AT Driver. So if I can find a sharp implement, this is not sharp. There we go. All right, inside we've got, not the worst, but it's not Boba Fett. We've got Lando Skiff. These are probably like 12-inch scale. Does it say on here? It's in Japanese. I wish I could read Japanese. I could sound out some of the letters if I really took the time. Because I had 1 year of Japanese in high school. Unfortunately, it was my senior year because they introduced Japanese my senior year, so I didn't really get to follow through with it at all throughout the rest of the thing. These are, I've never seen these before. So this looks like a Micro Machine. this is somebody's hand broken off. Oh, that's Obi-Wan's hand and lightsaber. We got ATST. We've got, I don't even know what this is. This is, this is Padawan Obi-Wan hanging off the side of the, when Darth Maul is, just after he killed Qui-Gon in Episode 1. I don't know what these are. I don't know if these are like little glass hanger guys, because this is Luke hanging off the side of Bespin, I assume. We've got, this is like a tiny little Stitch as Yoda from Lilo and Stitch. So yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to do some research here. All right, in here, we've got, this is like a little Catwoman diorama. Nice piece. Don't know if that's based on any specific artist's work or not. Oh, we got another. And inside, all right, this is, oh, this just straight up says, oh no, Kylo Ren on the front of it. Oh. So we've got just like a little, there's a little stand in here, and then a little, put it together yourself Kylo Ren helmet. This is from this is from Force Awakens, before he smashes up the helmet. Awesome. We've got a couple of really nice cases here. These are super nice. They got little hangers on the back. Put them on the wall or something. And we've got Boba Fett. Been sitting on this box for a while, by the way. A lot of the mail, PO Box videos, booth videos in general, kind of got put on hold for a little while there. The Boba Set hit 500 in December, thanks to Mrs. Toy Galaxy and a lot of other people, but 500 hit in December. And so I kind of put a lot of that stuff on hold because more Boba Fett figures were coming in, and I didn't want to keep advancing the numbers. So because, you know, once they're in a video, once I post them on Instagram, that's like when they get assigned numbers in the Boba Set. And once I hit 500, I wanted to be able to do a 500 video, and, you know, I wanted that to be kind of a big deal, and I had an idea for it, and Greg and I talked about it, and so just today, I finished the photography on those figures, and so pretty soon, we should be putting out a Boba Fett 500, Boba Set 500 video. But yeah, because of that, there were a lot of people who had sent in, you know, various packages that had Boba Fett figures in them, and I was like, I can't put that in the booth yet. I can't show those off yet because I don't want to assign them a number yet, because I don't want to get too far ahead, too far down the path of the Boba Set by the time it's like, oh, there's 600 figures now, and you're just putting out the 500 video. It seemed kind of ridiculous. We got, this is the Ralph McQuarrie Chewbacca, essentially, which is interesting because he also included the Zeb Aurelius, which is essentially what that design became. Probably did that on purpose. A couple of these small figures. I actually have the Boba Fett of these, but here we've got, this is Luke in, it says Dagobah Landing. It's basically just Luke in his X-Wing outfit. And these are like die-cast metal. They usually have like one accessory. Not very posable, basically just the arms and head. But that's real nice because these are unopened. So you got Luke in Dagobah Landing. We've got my two favorites. I don't know if Chris did that on purpose, but we've got Death Trooper. Sweet. And the Shore Trooper. And this is the Shore Trooper. They call it Scarif Stormtrooper. Like, you know, if you're a Stormtrooper and you're getting stationed somewhere, you got to be crossing your fingers. Fingers? You got to be crossing your fingers for beach duty, right? where else you want to go? Oh, you can be on the Death Star? Nah, I'm gonna hold out for beach duty. Like, how many missions, how many times did those guys actually have to protect anything? I mean, clearly not many, because the one time they got called on to do their jobs, they failed miserably. This stuff's neat. Thank you. But these two things, and I don't even know which one to pull out first here. These are both just, I'm gonna go with this one. This is it's a Takara Tomy Medicom Real Action Hero Boba Fett, which is, if you don't know, it's a 12-inch scale, you know, 1/6 scale, fully posable. You know, this is like pre-Hot Toys. You know, these figures have been going around for a long time. They're just a, you know, a premium 12-inch scale figure. I have a couple of Gotcha Man, Battle of the Planets figures. They've made just about everybody. Wolverine, Spider-Man, Superman, like tons of. There's a Sun Vulcan set that is currently on my list of holy grails that I need to acquire. There's 3 of them, and this is ridiculous. This is not something I would have expected anybody to send in. It is one of the only 12-inch figures, and it's not like I'm trying to get all the 12-inch figures, but it's one of the few 12-inch figures of Boba Fett that I didn't have, and certainly not something that I had. I'll be honest, I don't even know if I had ever looked it up before or looked for it. If you had asked me if I thought one existed, I would have said yes. But it's incredible, and honestly, it looks just as good as, you know, I'm sure once I put it next to like a Hot Toys piece, it's probably going to have some, you know, it's probably not going to be as great, but right now looking at it, it is incredible. It is an incredibly detailed piece, and I cannot wait to actually get that out of the box and set it up with all of the other 12-inch scale Boba Fett figures, Hasbro or Hot Toys or everything else that I have in my collection. Now, what could possibly be tied with this for whether or not I should take it out of the box first? You know, there's things that I would expect to be in a box like this. If somebody was like, hey, I sent you a bunch of stuff that I'm pretty sure you're gonna like because I know the kinds of things you like, I'd say, well, there's probably gonna be some Boba Fett stuff. Maybe there'll be a Gundam or 2. Maybe there'll be like a Transformer or something. Maybe there'll be a G.I. Joe guy. But I never, ever would have expected that somebody would send in the White House for the Marx Presidents line of figures. And I have a bunch of these. There was a Dan in the Photobooth video not too long ago, last summer, where I think it was called a bag from a sociopath or something like that. And it was like a bunch of like gourmety figures, Marx presidents, and like a knife. You know, whatever. I got a good deal on it. The knife was like a throw-in. And that almost completed my president's collection. You get them painted or unpainted, and that was like almost all of but this, for those who don't know, which is probably all of you, except for me and Chris, this is a display set for the presidents, and this is from the 60s, I'm gonna assume is when this was made. Oh, there's a little note in here. Marx Toys, you know, and I think there was something about it in the note, in Chris's note here. Picked up the Marx White House with presidents a few years back on an impulse buy. Then, other than setting it up at one of the base libraries, military base libraries during the last election, it has just sat around the house. When I saw that you had some of the president figures, I thought you could use a White House for the display. The figures are unpainted, and there's a MacArthur figure in there, as well as a couple of Mrs. Eisenhower, and one of the Eisenhower figures is missing a finger. Which finger? The set still goes together. A few pegs are broken, but it still assembles. There's a small write-up I had in the display as well. Marx and Eisenhower were friends, so when he was designing the set, he had a lot of access to the White House, and then it talks about the other stuff. So this plaque that he had set up on the base, where this was being displayed, just says 1954. I was close. Louis Marx was a friend of General Eisenhower when General Eisenhower was elected the 34th President of the United States in 1952. Mr. Marx decided that his company would make a model of the White House so that everyone could have one in their homes. That's really neat. And that's what's in here. All of these presidents. So they're unpainted, and that's what came with the package here. Look at this. It's got like the original bags and stuff. This kid is so happy in this picture. American presidents in miniature. Little biography, little stats about each of the presidents, all your favorites, some of your least favorites, and then there's a whole little White House display in here. incredibly thoughtful, incredibly surprising, incredibly unexpected. It leaves me speechless. It is, and the fact that it has the box it's just astounding. And it's the kind of thing that I probably would never have bought for myself. Like if I had seen it at a show, I don't know that I would go over and buy it. I wouldn't even know what kind of a dollar value to put on it. You know, if it said $100 on it, I don't know if that's high. I don't know if that's low. It would come down to, you know, do I feel like spending that much on it at the time? But getting it like this, I can't even put a price on it. It is, you know, I don't keep boxes, so it's gonna hurt to throw this in the trash. I'm kidding. It's not. It's crazy. It's really, really neat. And I've never seen one of these in person before. So to have the first one that I've ever seen be a gift from someone like this in a package with all of this stuff is just a really, really neat thing. It's neat. Is that descriptive enough? Neat. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And I'm genuinely thankful for that. I appreciate that. So, hey, that's this box. There's a lot of stuff in here, so I'm only gonna do this one box for this particular video. We're gonna see how this goes. It's weird. Normally, when we do shows and stuff, I am on a script, and I like that. It's like a safety net because I can just say the words that are in front of me. I don't have to worry about trying to think of words as I'm talking. So this is a new experience, but hopefully I had fun. I don't know, we'll see. Hopefully it'll turn into a thing. I don't really have a sign off here either. You know, hey, if you like it, click the like button, share it, you know, leave a comment, tell me which of these things you dug, and you know, come back and we'll do this again sometime, probably, maybe, we'll see, probably. Later.